Yes.
All righty, so welcome to your Learning Management System kickoff. As Patrick and I have talked before, my name is Sheila Clark. I'm the project manager on this project implementation, and I'll be with you from start to finish for this project. George Pataki, who's our LMS expert, is going to be going through the LMS with you today. And if you have any questions regarding LMS during the project, you would go directly to him or myself. So because there's a lot of stuff that George goes through, I'm going to hand it over to him to get going.
All right, thanks, Sheila. Well, good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Morning.
They're in California.
So,
George.
that's right, you guys are on the West Coast. Yeah, so good morning for you, good afternoon for me. So, as Sheila mentioned, what we're going to be doing today is just walking you through our learning management system, and it's just a website that we've created.
Chromecast it?
I'm sorry, it's a question?
Yeah, we're just trying to get this, your screen, we're trying to get it cast to our big monitor on the wall.
Oh, okay.
So bear with us. Go ahead.
Sure, okay. So our learning management system is a website that we have created that's going to house a whole bunch of information that you guys are going to use today, tomorrow, and 6 months down the road, a year from now, 2 years from now, hopefully. But what you're going to use it for today is to get your initial information about how Prism HR works. So we have many hours worth of videos and courses that we have created that we are going to make available to you guys, that you're going to start to learn the basics about how Prism HR works.
Oh, we don't see everything. Sorry, hold on 1 second.
Sure.
So go to cast and then stop the cast. Stop it. Patrick's office. Oh, stop it, sorry. Cast 2. Cast 2. Cast desktop. Patrick's office. Now we can see whatever you're looking at. Sure. Sorry. There we go. You got full, can you put on like a full screen or? That is mine. All right.
All set?
All right. Yeah, we're all set. Go ahead.
Okay. So what you guys are looking at is the Prism HR Learning Management System. You're looking at my version of it. Yours is going to look similar, but not exactly the same, because I have access to some content that you guys are not going to have access to, because we use it both for you guys, our customers, and we also use it for our internal folks, our employees. So you may see some things on mine that you are not going to see. But let's talk a little bit about what you guys are going to have access to and some basic information about the LMS. I'm not going to be showing you guys everything today, because we don't have enough time, number one, and number two, it'd be too much information all at once, and number three, you have other ways that you can learn about the basic nuts and bolts of the system, like how to play the videos, how to pause them, how to rewind them, how to take notes, things like that. So I'm not going to be covering that with you today, but I'm going to be showing you where you can get that information for yourself, and you can watch it at a time that's convenient for you. As I'm going through this information, if you have any questions at any point, just stop me and ask the question. We want to make sure that you guys know what you're doing as far as how the LMS works and what information is here and available to you before we wrap up our call today, because it's going to be important. This is your introduction to Prism HR for most of you. You probably haven't seen a whole lot of the software, but you're going to see a whole lot of it.
One more second. I don't know, can we verify that Sarah's on the line? Because we asked her to jump in too.
Yeah, I'm here.
Sarah? All right,
Yeah.
awesome. Thanks, Sarah. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to back up just a little bit before I start talking about the actual screens here, just to kind of tell you what we used to do with new customers like yourselves is we used to put you in a room for 3 days straight, right from the get-go. We used to just 8 hours a day for those 3 days, nonstop. We used to just blast you with information about payroll, about accounting, about human resources, about benefits, about customer care. It used to be all kind of jumbled together, and whether you cared about all of those subjects or not, you were going to sit through them. So if you were a payroll person, you had to sit through the benefits, the human resources, the customer care, the risk, and you didn't care. If you were the payroll person, you had to sit through all these stuff that wasn't payroll. So rather than doing that to everybody, what we did was we recorded all of that information and we created courses. So we organized it, so all the content that is about a single subject is all together. So all of our billing information is all together in a course called Billing. All of our payroll information is in a course called Payroll. And then what we did was we organized our courses into different learning programs. Now, learning programs are just collections of courses, and our collections are put together based on roles. So if you are a payroll person and you're going to be doing the payroll in Prism HR, there's certain things that you need to know, and it might touch a little bit on billing, it might touch a little bit on on system administration, there might be a little bit of client administration that you need to know. So there's all these different courses that's only going to contain the information that's about payroll. If you're a benefits person, you're going to see courses and information within those courses that's about benefits. So we have 7 learning programs in total, and we created them based on the 7 different roles that you could have within a PEO or ASO organization. And the way we created them, we took a little bit of we made a little bit of creative license in what we said a payroll person is and what we said a benefit person needs to know, etc. You might not agree with exactly how we created our programs. So the best way to know how we did it is to look at the learning program matrix that's in the LMS. So in the top right-hand corner, there's a search. And if you type in matrix, you'll bring up the learning program matrix. Now, what it's going to look like on the screen once it finally comes up is it's going to look like a picture of an Excel document. This is actually an Excel document. It just doesn't look like one when you're looking at it in the LMS. So in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a download button where it says download job aid. I'm hovering over it right now. What you guys should do is actually download it, because it's going to be an Excel document. If you do it, you're going to have a local copy of it. You're going to be able to scroll down this list, and that top blue column where it says which learning program it is over here on the right, benefits, payroll, risk, accounting, etc. We lose that as we scroll down. You won't lose it if you actually have it downloaded as an Excel document. But what this is going to show you is how we created the 7 learning programs and what information is going to be contained in each course if you were to take that program. So for example, at the top, we have our billing course with all 8 of all 8 of the modules that are part of billing. You'll have how much time it takes for each one of those. So that's the length of the video, 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 18, etc. And then over on the right here, you see the learning programs and whether that information is going to be contained within that learning program. So if you're a benefits person, you don't need to know anything about billing. There's no X's here. If you're in payroll, accounting, system administration, or customer care, you have all of the billing information. That's pretty clear cut. When we get down to the other courses like system admin or employer admin, client admin, etc., you start to see it kind of breaks up a little bit. So it is very specific to each one of the learning programs. You want to download this so you can know exactly how we built them, because you might not agree entirely with what we did. Make sense? Yes? No?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, all right, awesome. So, first thing you guys should do, there's 7 of you so far that have been set up with access to the learning management system. You can have up to 15 per your contract, so if you do need to add more, you can do that. You just need to add that
information. What about our
sales
team? They don't need to be a part of this, right? They're just going to be a part of Seed?
There is a little bit of information in here for the sales team, but at that point when they're ready to view that, there's actually, Seed's program is outside of the LMS, but some of it is actually in here. So there's actually a demo. There's a couple of courses. There's actually a learning program and a course that are built specifically for your sales team. But do they need it right now? Not necessarily. But at some point, you might want to get them access to it.
All right, yeah, because we have 8 people on our sales team. So just, yeah.
Yeah, and you might not need all 8 at the same time, because like I said, you can have up to 18, but you can rotate people in and out. Or you could have one person, they could sit in a conference room and they could watch together when it's not important for you to track them individually and that sort of thing. There's ways around it. We can be creative.
Okay.
So once you get logged in that very first time, the very first thing you're going to notice is these couple of circles here where it says deadline and pending learning. Underneath that, you're going to see that you are automatically enrolled in a course. Everybody should be enrolled in the LMS navigation course. Watch that course. Where mine says customer care, yours will say LMS navigation. It's only about 8 or 9 minutes long, but it's going to show you all the things that I'm not going to show you today. It's going to show you how to play the videos, what these tabs over here mean, the home tab, the learning tab, the catalog, what is all that information? How do I use it? It's going to show you about the search and how you can filter when you're searching and different things like that. It's going to show you how to play, how to rewind. Rewinding is a big one because once you play a module, it's going to be marked as complete by the system. If you want to watch it again, you have to rewind it. Otherwise, it'll always take you back to the very end of the video. And I've had a lot of people over the years email me or call me because they can't find that button, or they don't even know it exists because they didn't watch that 9-minute video called LMS navigation. Start there before you do anything else. Watch that. It'll save you a lot of time and frustration. So once you watch that, you're gonna learn all about what these tabs mean, how to find all those learning programs that I've been telling you about. They're all found in the catalog. If you just want to see the learning programs and not the courses or certifications or job aids, etc., you can filter all of these great things you're going to learn by watching that video. So as a manager, and Nathaniel, you're the person who's currently set up to be the manager, you do not have to assign people courses or learning programs. Everybody can enroll themselves into things that are the important things for them to know. So if you're a payroll person, you would presumably enroll yourself in the payroll learning program. If you are a benefits person, you go into the benefits program. Maybe you're somebody who needs to know human resources and customer care information. You would enroll yourself into both of those. You do have the ability to enroll people into programs and courses if you want to, but most people don't. They become more of a director and they say, okay, so payroll people, here's the information for you. Benefits people, there's specific information for you, etc. So the system will track everything. So everything you do to the very first step when you create your Adobe ID and log in for the very first time, every time you log in, it tracks that, what you enroll yourself in, what videos within those courses you play, how much you do of them, everything gets tracked. And Nathaniel, as a manager, you can run reports about what everybody is doing. Again, not something we're going to cover, but you, Nathaniel, will want to, in addition to watching the LMS navigation, there's an LMS reporting course that you will want to watch because it will teach you everything that you need to know about how to track what people are doing if you need or want to track people. Any questions so far?
No.
Nope, we're good.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, that LMS navigation video will cover a lot of things that we're not going to cover today. The reporting will cover a lot of things that the 7 different programs, you just need to download that matrix so you understand what information is covered in each one of those, and then you can enroll them if you want to, Nathaniel, or you can allow people to just enroll themselves by going to the catalog, finding what they need, and click on the enroll button. Now, there is one requirement at this point that we are going to have of you. There are those 7 different learning programs, and I'm going to bring up one of them called System Administration. Now, this learning program, if you were to look at the matrix and you were to look at all the courses, there would be an X in every single subject for every course and every module within those courses. So this is everything. And we have a requirement that at least one of you, and it can be more than that, but at least one of you has to complete this System Administration learning program before we'll move on to the next steps, which are going to be working with your implementation consultants on your boot camp and then your implementation after that. So this, as you can see here, 18 hours, 21 minutes, it's big. There are 12 courses. There are, last count, I think 140 sessions or 140 modules within these courses. So it is a significant amount of effort that is going to be needed to get through this. But if anybody who does do this systematic,
So what is the total time of all these courses? I've heard a couple of different things so far.
So for system administration, each one has a different time. That's
all right.
That it would take to get through it.
So
the system
we
admin
just
one
need
is
to try and wrap
everything.
our brains around this because if it's 20, 25 hours total for all courses, then we're thinking we're going to just kind of, our core team's going to learn everything. If it's way beyond that, then we're going to start delegating what courses need to be done with what team members. So are you saying there's like 100 hours in this thing?
So this is absolutely everything. So this includes
this is everything,
benefits
18 hours total.
and payroll. But it's only for people who need to know and this is by no means is this everything. If we were going to try and show you everything that you would need to know about, it would be probably 200-300 hours worth of information, and nobody would ever be able to get through it. And we'd be showing you a lot of information that you would never care about, because Prism HR is a system-rich environment. It's feature-rich, but you're not necessarily going to use all those features or would ever want to. So this information is just the base information. We're building a foundation here, so that when you go to your boot camp and then you go to working with your implementation consultants, that's when they start to take and create your benefit plans.
Your core training.
This is really it's the beginning of the core.
Okay,
and this is the big one.
Okay.
So I wouldn't necessarily have everybody go through this unless, the only people that should go through this system admin are people who are going to be those people that others are going to turn to when they have questions. So whether it's a payroll question or a benefits question, or, there's always that person or people that others are going to go to.
I'm just thinking that this system's so huge, all of us need to have a role of what we're going to be an expert in. Otherwise, none of us are going to know anything, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So as we all go through it, we're just going to try and figure out who's going to wear the hat of what to be an expert, even if all of us have a general idea with this training, is my thought process. Does that make sense?
And you could, certainly. Just, but this is significantly more time than the other learning programs are.
So this is where I'm confused again, because you're saying this one is significantly more time. 18 hours is total for all training modules in your system here, or are you saying that's just administration?
That's just administration.
What is the total picture is what I'm trying to figure out. All of it.
I have never added those together. It would probably be anywhere from 75 to 100 hours.
That's what I wanted to know. Okay.
There's
no way everybody on our team can go through all these modules. We need to delegate who's doing what.
Yes.
No. Well,
but all right.
All right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So let me back up though. So let's go back to the matrix for a second, because the system administration program, if you go through that one, there is no reason for you to ever do any of the other programs. Because as you can see here, here's system admin in this column. It contains, there's always going to be an X, because it absolutely has every single topic for every course going down. So we created the other learning programs by pulling things away. So benefits, for example, that learning program has nothing about billing. When you get down to the next, to system administration, it has very little about system administration. Actually, it has nothing. When it gets to employer administration, there's still nothing for benefits, because there's no X's in this column. And then as we keep going down, you'll start to see for benefits person, when we get to, really to benefits, that's when you start to see X's in their columns, but not everything. Billing rate groups, that's not included for a benefits person. So if you go through the system administration learning program, which is the 18 hours and 21 minutes, you have gone through absolutely everything that's available in any of the learning programs. If you only do one of the other ones, you're getting a filtered view based on that role. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if that changes your view about whether you'd want people to go through system admin or just go through the specific roles that are important for them. But that's basically how we've constructed it. To me, the more you know, the better off you are. But it is a significant investment in time, and while people are still going to be doing their jobs and using your old system while you're learning this new system, maybe at the beginning it might be easier for them to make that transition to just learn the role that they might need to start with, and then you can always come back and learn more. Because this system, the LMS, you're always going to have it. So it's not just for now during your implementation, you're always going to have access to this information. A year from now, if you have a new employee and they need to learn about payroll, they're going to have access to this, and they can come in and they can They can go through this learning program before they start doing anything else.
All right, just one more time. Show me where we are navigating to watch that one course for 18 hours. Where is that course?
So it's in the catalog,
Yeah.
and it's a learning program. So if we filter and get rid of, we will find, it's called System Administration.
Yeah.
So it's right here, System Administration version 3.0.
System Admin version 3. That's what all of us are going to focus on, nothing else.
Okay.
That's what we're going to do. Right? That's what you're saying.
Well, that is your decision. What I'm saying is that does everybody need to know about benefits and payroll and human resources and risk and customer care? Then if the answer to that
right
question
now,
is,
this is our core team. None of us know anything. We're going to have, basically what I'm going to do is put everybody through this so we can all have a meeting about like all the, everybody's going to grab more of certain sections of it. Then we got to break out from there. So I'm just thinking to start, everybody watches that, then we all have a grasp of the big picture. So it's just a core support team. And then as we grow the company, then obviously we're going to, drill down and be more specific with certain people. But to begin the company, so as we try to figure out what we're delegating, right now I'm just thinking I need to know what our core team is watching, and it sounds like that's what we're doing is the 18 hours, so we all hands can jump on deck for any different sections of this system is what I need. That's what I need a grasp of. That's why the core team has to go through the full 18 hours, because I don't know who I'm pulling on deck for what sections of this system yet. So that's why I just need to start off that way is what I'm thinking. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, all right. So one thing that you also want to keep in mind too is that we're going to give you access, and Sheila's going to talk a little bit more about this. We're going to give you access to an environment where you guys can practice and play around and not have to worry about creating junk in your own system that you then have to get rid of or live with. And you don't have to worry about making mistakes, because if you make a mistake, it's okay, it's not yours. It's a sandbox environment that we're going to give you access to so that you can, as you go through these modules. So if you're in this billing course and you watch the billing codes and billing events, and then you go to the billing templates, you can actually go through and you can build a code, an event, a template in this sandbox environment. Now, the fact that you're doing that will help you remember more and understand more about what a code, event, or template is, so that when you get to your boot camp and when you get to working with your implementation consultant after that, you're going to understand it a little bit more and you're going to be in a much better place. Now, do you have to do that? Are we going to require that you actually go into the sandbox environment and do these things? No, but we highly recommend it because it's going to give you a much better understanding, because people learn by doing. So if you just watch the videos, you're going to remember maybe 5 to 10% if you're lucky. And that's nowhere near enough for you to be able to actually use the system. So if you actually go in and take advantage of the sandbox environment that we're going to give you, you can go in and you can practice with the things that you need to practice. Not everything needs practice. You know, when we're going to show you how to create a user, for example, actually that one might be one you want to practice. Some of the things are pretty simple. You're going to see it in the video and you're like, yeah, okay, anybody could do that. I don't need to go into the sandbox environment. But when we start talking about templates and formatting and other things like that, the concepts that might be new to you, you definitely want to go in and practice and play with those. And don't worry about making mistakes or anything else. And it's not going to be real information. Don't ever put anybody's social security number in there.
Where are we practicing in the sandbox? Where is that?
Sheila's going to show you where that is and give you access to it.
Okay,
It's
got it.
basically a shared environment that all of our customers have access to. So again, this is not yours. It's not only yours, although the things that you create, most likely nobody else is going to care about. Because
but
everybody else
pretty much try to screw it up as much as possible. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yep. Because that's, and the thing is, it's a safe place. So, people are worried that if you screw up somebody's payroll for real or somebody's benefit, that's a big deal. You don't want to ever do that. But the sandbox environment, that's exactly what you can do and not have to worry about it, because every once in a while we go through and our development team wipes the sandbox clean. Just refreshes the whole thing. So it's okay, as far as being a place where you can safely play around for the things that you need to. Again, not every single one of these 140 topics are you going to need to go into the sandbox and do something with. But for the things where you're not really comfortable, that's where you want to take advantage of it. All right. Questions?
We're good.
Okay, awesome. So I'm actually going to hand it back over to Sheila because I have another meeting starting. So I have a hard stop for me, but she's going to explain a little bit more about how the process is going to work from here, give you all the information that you're going to need as far as that sandbox environment. And then if anybody has any problems or questions after that, you can reach out to Sheila or me if it's an LMS issue or anything like that, and we'll be able to help you with those. So other than that,
All right.
I'm going to pass back over.
And
Good luck.
Thanks. And then who's Sheila, what are we doing for discovery? Do we have that figured out?
No, we still don't have that figured out. I'm waiting. I've asked again. They're trying to figure out. Thank you, George, if you want to drop off.
Okay. Thanks,
Okay.
everyone.
Thanks, George.
Thank
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're still working on that. I asked them again. They're narrowing it down to a couple, and so I'm hoping to hear something. I mean, it happens to be that the person who I'm waiting for the answer for, her father passed away, so she had to jump on a plane and go. So I'm hoping she
Yeah.
lands soon, and someone is just confirming. So we're just waiting to see if she's got confirmation. So I've got an idea
Okay.
who it's going to be, and I've looked at his schedule. He could definitely not do it tomorrow because his schedule is already full. But we probably
Yeah.
could do Tuesday. I think it would be, 1 o'clock. So that would be 10 o'clock your time. So, but don't hold me to it yet until I actually can confirm. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So as
Got
George
it.
was talking about the sandbox login. So like he said, it's a practice environment for basically the LMS. So you go in there and you try something, but you obviously don't put social security numbers or anything that personal that you don't want anybody else to see because all customers are using this. So the how to log in and your username and password is on this sheet, and I will send it back to you, Patrick, unless you have it. I know you had it originally, but sometimes people lose it in all the emails they get. So I could send it back to you.
Yeah, I mean, we got the link. I bookmarked the link for this, I believe.
Okay, so then if you did, so in the link, and you can send it off to everybody, is the link to the sandbox, which is this one, and then the user ID for each person who it was over there to the left, and then their password, and you can see the password is the same, so for everybody. So you would go in here. So the idea is to watch the video and then go practice. Watch the video, go practice to get us idea how you're going to maneuver around in Prism. And that's how the idea works. Any questions around that? So yeah, you just scroll to the right and you'll see everybody's user IDs.
Got it.
Got it? Okay. All right, so how this all plays in. So let me give you a quick idea of what a generic project plan looks like. So when we build your project plan, so basically the beginning part of a project plan is built for everybody the same because you're all configuring at the global level, the system level. So everybody who starts off with Prism starts with this, configuration. So in that, we might say like system parameters is one of the videos that you'll watch in the LMS. And you don't have to watch the whole thing. We're going to ask you to just watch portions of it. So over in the comments section, when I give you your project plan, when we build it, it will have like these particular modules we want you to watch in the LMS. So you're going to go in there, refresh your memory because you've seen a lot of videos up to this point. So you're going to go back in, you're going to refresh your memory, and then you're going to start configuring in your live environment in Prism. Did you get a phone call from Scott Hastings, who walked you through Prism and the HRP piece of it?
No.
Okay, you will be getting one. Okay. So
Okay.
Scott will.
I don't know if you have voicemails, so if they're calling that number with the work PEO, that means there's voicemail sitting on that phone.
I don't have any, I haven't received anything or any
It'll
emails.
it'll notify the email. Did you set it up that way for that phone
Yeah.
system? Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, nothing yet.
Is the phone number okay? Because I'm trying to think. I gave him my phone number. I got it off of his, Patrick's
The
signature.
work PEO phone number. Yeah, I'm just checking with Nathaniel, and he's checking voicemails on it, and he's got it. So it emails him, and he hasn't gotten anything on that one.
Okay, so maybe he
I'm
just had. But you
yeah.
would be expecting one. And basically, Patrick, I gave him your information to call you, and he'll walk you through
Yeah.
how to log into Prism,
Okay.
how to log into what we call, you'll hear it terminologically called HRP, back office, Citrix, SB Plus. I don't know why it has so many names, but for over the years, and this is originally the platform for Prism, and because we've moved over to sort of the web version, there's still things you have to go back into the back office to do, something like accounting. I can't think of if you had to void a check or something like that. You have to do certain things in the back office. There isn't much. Most of it's on Prism. I would probably say 85 to 90% is on Prism, but there are some things, so you need access. One quick question. You guys don't have a Mac, do you? Are you using Macs or regular PCs?
Bryce is, you don't use
No,
Mac.
I use
So
Windows.
Bryce is the only one that uses Mac in our office.
Okay, then that's good, because there's going to be the back office or the Citrix or the HRP, whatever you want to call it. It does not work well on Macs unless you buy a particular software. But it sounds like you have PCs in the office, so you're fine. So anybody who's going to be doing accounting, because that's most of it is where your accounting is. Or it might be a little bit of banking. So anybody who's going to be using that, then that person probably does not want to be using a Mac. There are workarounds, like I said, but it's a software you'd have to purchase, and I'd have to find out that information because we don't have too many people that there's an issue for. Or you just buy an inexpensive PC and you just leave it so everybody uses it for the back office. That's what a lot of companies do too. Okay, so basically this is the project plan sort of built on it. And so as you go through it, the consultant is going to give you homework and each week. So what you'll do, or each session, I should say, like if you have user config, you'll see that some of the LMSs in here are a little bit more, and then you'll see there. So the idea is to refresh it, review it, and then you can configure. Now let me tell you about, so there's, and you can see this one might have a few more to watch. So some are bigger and some are not as much, but so you might be able to get 2 or 3 of them done in a particular sprint. And we call these sprints. They're broken out. Like 1 sprint, 2 sprint, and we break them into small chunks so it's something that you can achieve. Okay. So now you're going to hear a lot of terminology. So you're going to have, just to explain, so you have your sandbox environment that you're going to practice with your LMS. You're going to be giving a live environment, and you're going to be giving a demo environment. That has nothing to do with LMS, even though you're watching the videos, but this is the actual environments you're setting up the implementation in. So you're live, so what will happen is when we say set up your system parameters configuration, go in and watch those videos. When you start configuring, you're going to be putting it into your live environment. It has nothing to do with the sandbox anymore. This is where it goes. And we always make copies from live to demo. So you're going to put everything in live when you're configuring at the global system level, client level, details. There's going to be a lot of things, users. So a lot of information is going to go into your live environment, and then you're going to you're going to request, or your IC is going to make a request for you to put it in your demo. So if you get to a certain point, you can start testing things. So that's how it sort of works. And then there's one more environment, but you're not going to be using it because you don't have any existing clients and employees. It would normally is called Conv, and that's where the data engineer does their testing. But because you're not using data engineer, there's no need to talk about that. So it's just really your live and your demo environment. And the sandbox is, like I said, is strictly for this practice session during your LMS before you actually starting your implementation. Do you follow me? A lot of people get confused on this. That's why.
Everybody following, or?
Yeah.
Yes.
It will become more apparent
Yeah.
once we start working through it, but it will be simple. You'll catch on to it real quick. Okay, so there's a lot. So the first 3 sprints are usually all your configuration. You're going to start setting up things, like I said, at the global, the system level, your client levels. There's all kinds of things. In your particular project plan, when I build it, it will not have these mappings because you're not mapping anything. You're not taking out of an old system and bringing it into Prism because you're a startup. Okay. So that I'd just like to introduce everybody to sort of what the project plan sort of looks like and how the LMS complements the project plan, why it's important to go through it. All right, any questions around anything I've gone through, or George? I guess you were all set with George, and everybody has their access to the LMS, correct? They got an email of some sort?
And then
I signed
you
in.
signed in, you signed in, I signed
I
in. think
signed
we're all
in.
good.
All
Yeah,
right,
I
good.
already started it.
Oh, good.
Good
Good
job,
student.
Sarah.
Yeah. She's showing up those
The baby
boys.
took it down.
Okay, so that would be it for today for this kickoff. And Patrick, once I know who's been identified, and I should know probably by the end of the day, then I will send you an email with some dates that we can start doing the kickoff and discovery. I'll also send you the discovery agenda so you have an idea what kind of questions we're going to ask, and make sure the people on your side, if there's someone's, who handles all the HR, you want to make sure that they're there at that time. And like I said, I think we can probably cover this in probably an hour and a half easily. But we will book 2 hours just to make sure. Okay?
Okie dokie.
Okay. All right, guys. We look forward to working with you. And if you have any questions about anything we went over today, or you're having issues with getting in even to the sandbox, just let me know.
All right, so just let us know on the discovery as soon as
Yes.
possible so we can try to get that
Yep,
up
I
and
will do
running
that.
and get that over with. Is there anything else that we can do in the meantime other than, I guess, watching
Watching our
18
training.
hours? Is there?
Yeah, you
Is there
get your
anything
hands
else
full
that
with
we-
that, believe it or not. You know what?
Okay.
Actually, really just, which I think it sounds like you guys are going to do. You're going to dive into it, really use that sandbox to give you an idea how you're going to move
Play
around.
in the sandbox.
Play in the sandbox,
All
right.
right.
This is one time I'm telling you, play in the sandbox. And,
All right.
and really get used to the system, because once you start configuring, that's going to come in handy to know where everything is. Once you see the sandbox, the environment, you're going to say, oh my gosh, there's so many different layers to this. And that's the thing. That's why it's so important to do it. But I trust you guys will do it.
And then what we don't want to do is, so if Nathaniel clicks the link to get out to this site, what we don't want is him sharing your email with everybody, right? That your email's custom for each one of us that you sent out. So we don't want to forward your email with your links. Is that what I read in
Wait,
one of
what's
those
that?
emails? Like the
Uh,
Adobe Create ID for LMS training.
oh, yeah, when you do that.
And then
Right. When
that
we
was
created
that
it.
one.
Right.
But for this link here,
You're talking
is
about the
this-
sandbox?
Can you just email all of us this link? Is that possible?
Oh, yeah. I can send you this
Yeah, if you have all of us, and then we'll all bookmark it. I think that's the easiest way for everybody to, get on this thing fast, is if you just shoot all of us an email.
Yeah, I can do that.
way.
That's no problem. And just remember that
Perfect.
this is the sandbox link right here. Okay,
The sandbox, right?
Yep,
that's the sandbox
got
link.
it.
Okay, and then
All
the
right,
other one
so
is your
that-
element.
Yeah, everybody, I guess so everybody bookmarks this, and then, so that way they'll always be able to find how to get to this screen and then get to the sandbox. And then, let's start that way so everybody can just kind of go
Yep,
off
I'll
their
send that.
usernames and passwords.
No problem.
Okay,
Yep, perfect.
cool.
Like I said, Scott will
Thank
be
you,
calling
Sheila.
you. So if you haven't heard from him by tomorrow, just let me know. Shoot me a quick, because it's really important that he walk you through that. The Prism and the
All right,
HRP.
and what was Scott going to do with us again?
He's going to walk you through the Prism logins and the HRP, the back office login.
All right.
Okay?
Okay, we'll definitely let you know if we don't hear from him by tomorrow.
All right, perfect. All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Sarah.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Sarah. Bye.
Bye.